August board meeting. Today is Thursday, August 5th, 2021. Time now is 11:32. Mr. Chair, if I could call the roll, please.
Yes.
Mr. Stefanko?
Here.
Mr. Sokol?
Present.
Mr. Leary?
Present.
Mr. Corcoran?
Here.
Ms. DeMarquis?
Present.
Present. And we have Mrs. Zarowski on the phone.
I'm here.
We do have a quorum.
Great. All right, first item of business is approval of the draft minutes from the June 24 board meeting. Could I have a motion on that, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Francis.
And I can second that motion.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you, Roger. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Great. Item number 3 is report of the chair. I have nothing to report other than welcome in person. It's good to be in the room again. It's been, close to 18 months probably at least. But, yeah, happy to be here. So that's all I have. Joe, if you have anything to go on in President's report?
I do, Mr. Chair, thank you. Members of the board, for my President's report, I was planning on providing a 6-month update on our EFC 2021 initiative. In lieu of that, I will provide a written report to that effect and make it public. However, today, I think it's incumbent upon me to acknowledge the wound in the body politic of New York State, and more importantly, the pain in the hearts and minds of those suffering because of this difficult time. I will take this opportunity to affirm to the board and to our staff that the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation will continue to strongly enforce a policy of zero tolerance on sexual harassment, and we will put a premium on respect and dignity. I thank the board for the opportunity to express this. Thank you, Mr. Chair, but that's all I have for today's meeting.
Great. Thank you, Joe. Well said. No committees this month. Next month, we'll start up with the Finance Committee, which we'll touch on later. No unfinished business, so we'll move right into resolutions, unless there's any discussion. All right, Thomas, number 1, please.
All right, just as a point of order, and for recording purposes and audio purposes, if you present, please come to the chair that says speaker, and we'll proceed. And when it's your turn, please come up. All right, and without further ado, we'll start with resolution number 1. A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation modifying the authorization for financial assistance in connection with the Disaster Relief Appropriations Act 2013 and the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund.
Could I have a motion, please? Okay, James, thank you. Second? Roger, thank you. Audra with the presentation.
Okay, this is one project on this ID number for the village of Deering Harbor in Suffolk County. This is a storm mitigation loan program financing, a SMELP, on the drinking water side. And as you've seen over the past few months, we've been bringing some of these SMELP financings that are not quite done to you to extend. We have the extension from EPA for the funds and are allowing the projects that were not quite finished to extend and finish it before we convert it to long-term. So that is the action we are requesting today for Deering Harbor to extend it out 1 year. It's a $700,000 financing, $600,000 financing, including the loan and grant, constructing a new water storage site and backup power. The project is essentially complete, but we have a few more things left to resolve on the documentation before we can convert to long-term. So the extension out to next year will allow for that.
Thank you, Audra. Discussion? Questions for Audra? All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, none opposed. Resolution number 2.
Resolution number 2, a resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation amending the prior authorization for financial assistance to be provided by the corporation to certain recipients in connection with the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund.
Okay, could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Francis.
I'll second.
Thank you, James. Audra, again, with the presentation.
Okay. This is another drinking water project for the Saratoga County Water Authority in Saratoga County. They're working on expanding the existing water treatment plant to increase treatment capacity in order to meet expected system demands. We are requesting approval of two different things for this. Number one, a funding increase, and number two, a modification of the project scope. They originally closed with us in February of 2020, and we have dispersed close to $4 million already on this project. And as they've been working along, they've realized they needed to add some scope, as is described in the project summary and the fact sheet page included with your materials. Basically, it's an additional sludge lagoon and storage area. Costs are increasing from approximately $7 million to just over $11 million, and we are requesting authorization for the additional market rate financing. And just to point out, this is one of our projects that also has grant funding paired with it. They have an intermunicipal grant for this one.
Okay. Discussion?
Never have enough lagoons.
Right.
Well said, yes. All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Resolution number 3.
Resolution number 3, a resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible drinking water projects from funds appropriated for the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement.
You got it? One thing is don't forget it because you're going to want to take it with you, right?
Adam, you're not on mute.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Guys?
Okay,
You
could
want to
have,
hear me talking to my son and getting him in order? Is that not part of the business?
not at all. All right, could I have a motion, please?
Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
And
Vita.
I can second
Thank
that,
you,
Mr.
Roger.
Chairman.
Monica, with the presentation.
All right, this first project, 18764 for the village of Catskill. It's located in Greene County. Looking for short-term interest-free and short-term market rate financing, along with the $2,914,319 WIA grant. This project includes water main replacement, sedimentation basin reconstruction, a new water storage tank, and upgrades to the water treatment plant to address disinfection byproducts. Construction is slated to begin in May 2022 and to be completed in January 2023.
Any questions for Monica or discussion?
And it's a metered system. I'm just telling Charlie. You
Yes.
can't see.
It is.
Okay. That was Catskill, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So we have two additionals?
Yep, the next one in the town of, oh, this is Village of Catskill again, Town of Denmark, yep. So for 18020, Town of Denmark, located in Lewis County. Looking for approval of long-term, interest-free financing. The project includes replacement of water mains and a new storage tank. The replacement of water mains to address undersized water mains in poor condition and provide adequate system pressure. That's what the new water storage tank will do. Construction started in June of 2019 and was completed in October 2019. Any questions on Lewis County project? No. Okay. So the next one we have, Onondaga County Water Authority, that's project 18519 in Onondaga County. Looking for approval of a WIA grant for $1.5 million. This project includes installation of approximately 3.5 miles of new water main to improve capacity to meet peak summer demands and eliminate dead ends to improve water quality. We want to improve water quality in this location to address disinfection byproduct issues. Construction started in March of this year and should be completed later this month. And this last project, 18528, in the town of Pamelia in Jefferson County. We're looking for approval of short-term interest-free financing along with a WIA grant for $3 million. This project includes installation of approximately 76,000 linear feet of new water main. It will replace approximately 12,000 linear feet of existing main. It also includes water storage tank site improvements and SCADA improvements. This project will consolidate water districts, which we always like to see happen. It'll consolidate water districts 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11 with an extension to water district number 5 to form a consolidated water district number 1. This project will service a new connection to North Country's Army water lane, and it will loop the water system to reduce water age. Reducing the water age will address an EPA administrative order for disinfection byproducts, specifically TTHM exceedances, in water districts 4 and 5. The tank site improvements will also address water circulation issues, and the water main replacements will address aged mains that are seeing a high number of water main breaks. This project is slated to start next month and complete in December of 2022.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Questions?
This is
Go
an
ahead, Vita.
impressive amount of water main line. This
Yeah.
is an amazing
Yeah,
job to lay that much
definitely.
line.
And 2,500 users.
Exactly.
Yep.
Wow,
Big project for
good,
Jefferson County.
that's great news.
All right, anything further? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous again. Resolution number 4.
All right, resolution number 4. A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation amending the prior authorizations for financial assistance to be provided by the corporation to certain recipients in connection with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund.
Okay, could I have a motion, please?
So moved?
Thank you, Francis. Second. Thank you, James. Audra, for the third time.
Okay. One project under this ID number, the Village of Vernon in Oneida County. Again, 2 things we're asking for your approval for today. Extend for an additional year to allow time to complete the work, and also additional funding. So this, we had originally closed a financing with the village in October of 2016. They're working on building capacity at the wastewater treatment plant. They've had recent changes to the capacity needed, due to some things happening within the village, and also they wanted to allow for future growth. So we are requesting to add additional interest-free financing, approximately $700,000 increase in that. The total project cost you see there of the $6.75 million also include costs previously funded by our WIA grant. They've been working on the project steadily. We've dispersed close to $1 million so far. Engineering is done. The construction contracts are bid for this phase of the project, so they are ready to move on that.
Thank you, Audra. Discussion, questions for Audra?
August 10th.
It's good to see the engineering planning grant. It just shows you 2013 to realization now is, they
Yes.
really planned this out.
Yes.
Point. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous again.
Thank you.
Resolution number 5. Thank you, Audra.
Resolution number 5, a resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible clean water projects from funds appropriated for the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act.
Thank you, Thomas. Could I have a motion, please?
Chairman, I'll make a motion for
Rita.
item number 5.
And I can second that.
Thank you, Roger. Tim with the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This morning, before the board are 7 projects. 3 have not yet completed construction. They're short-term or they're going to be grant-onlys. 4 are long-term interest-free. I'll take you through them individually. City of Amsterdam and Montgomery County, they are experiencing both CSO and SSOs, combined sewer overflows and sanitary sewer overflows. They're the subject of a DEC consent order to address them to protect the Mohawk River. They've got several projects with EFC. For this one, they were making improvements to the east side pump station. They were upgrading that pump station, and they also did just under 2,000 linear feet of sewer pipe replacement and sewer manhole replacement. They completed the project, and project was $5,450,000 in a long-term interest-free financing. Here we go. Next project. Town of Greenville. Second, this is another long-term industry. The project's been completed. They're doing a flow increase here in Greene County, sewer extension, and a new pump station to sewer new areas within the town. They're also, as a result, they needed to make improvements to their wastewater treatment plant. They changed processes from rotating biological contactors to an activated sludge to meet more restrictive effluent limits. They also made HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning improvements, and electrical upgrades. Long-term interest-free is $5,041,554. Next. Town of Machias in Cattaraugus County, a very interesting project. This lake sits right on the watershed divide. Below it flows to the Allegheny, which then flows down to the Mississippi, and above it flows to Lake Erie and St. Lawrence River. Why do I bring that up? Because their original solution was to sewer this around this lake that had much algae, which you have well named Lime Lake, to remove those pollutants from going in and affecting the lake. Their original solution was to send the wastewater south to the village of Franklinville, but there's a Great Lakes Compact that precludes removing more than 2.5 gallons of water from the lake, from the Great Lakes Basin, without permission of all those state governors that surround that, and the provincial governor of Ontario. So just wanted to bring that one up. So they went north, and 7.5 miles to the village of Arcade, which is why you might say, why would you pump that far? Well, they didn't have a choice. They had to send the wastewater somewhere. They completed that project. There was a capacity at Arcade, and as a result, we were able to, over a long period of time, finally get this project completed. They also qualified for hardship and grant, resulting in a $6,942,557 long-term interest-free loan, which began with a planning grant back in 2013.
Yeah.
Great. Fourth long-term interest-free financing is City of Middletown. Wait for the, there we go. Great. Project completed. They're subject to a DEC consent order. They've got inflow and infiltration issues within the city. They would do sewer lining and replacement, approximately 1,500 linear feet. And as a result, ended up with a $1,084,302 long-term interest-free loan to community qualified for hardship. Next project is a short-term interest-free and market rate financing in Ontario County around Honeoye Lake. They're making improvements to the treatment plant, including upgrades to their treatment process to the rotating biological contactor. They moved to high-density media filters as well as a cloth filter to filter out additional solids. Made lighting improvements, installed UV disinfection, and an emergency generator. Project was supported with the planning grant award in 2016. They're also being supported by a WIA grant, so the loan is $3,268,125 and a $1,670,000 WIA grant that was awarded in 2018. Town of Owego. This is a grant-only project. It was awarded in 2018, $56,998. It's a 25% grant, the WIA program. So they're financing the balance with municipal contribution. They're doing sewer rehabilitation and manhole replacement within the town. And last project, Westchester County, City of White Plains, county seat. They, Westchester County, the communities that discharge to Long Island Sound have been the subject of a federal order to address high inflow and infiltration affecting the 4 treatment plants that line Long Island Sound. And the county does not own the sewers in these municipalities. So then the county imposed requirements on White Plains and other communities that discharge their wastewater to the county's wastewater treatment plants to make improvements and reduce inflow and infiltration, which also saves not just, it saves a lot of energy at these treatment plants from not having to pump and treat more diluted wastewater. So they are undertaking an inflow and infiltration program. They did the sewer survey in 2017, and they're doing sewer and manhole rehabilitation. They're being supported by a $362,895 WIA grant that was awarded in December of 2019, and they are underway, or yes, actually they're complete with construction. November 19th, 2020. Any questions?
And was it 2013 that we started with the planning grants?
It was actually the year before. 2012 was the kickoff year that we did that. Yep, and it's been very successful. We've awarded over $17 million in grants, and through we had initially announced $2 million in our offering back in last year, but when Mr. Rubito became our president, he really supports this program, and with the need survey coming up next year for clean water, he wanted to ensure that we get as much documentation for the needs in New York State as possible, so we ended up adding additional funds to the amount that was awarded in May, and continued support for $3 million. We're currently have an offering in the combined funding application process that the deadline was last Friday, and we received about 100 new applications for $3 million of grants that we'll be announcing later this year. So yes, no, it's.
I'm glad I asked that question because this has been so successful. So I'm glad to hear the detail on that answer.
And it all happens with the support of the board. So thank you. Really, it's really thanks to you. We can come up with the ideas, but without the board support,
And the money.
it won't get traction. Yep.
Yeah, it's good to remember that whole story. It was very good. And that's a lot of pipe in this package.
That's right. Well said.
Thanks, Vita. Any other questions for Tim? Great. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous again. That concludes our resolutions. Before we adjourn, I would like to request a motion to enter into executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion that the board enter into executive session.
Thank you, Francis. Could I have a second, please?
I can second that.
Thank you, Roger and Vita. We will now enter an executive session. I would like to take a motion to resume regular session in a second, please.
I can make that motion.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, James. We are back in regular session. Per executive session, there were no formal action will need to be taken during the regular board meeting. So at this time, with no formal action needed to be taken, I will call a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Francis.
Okay.
Thank you, Vita. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimous. The next board meeting will be on September 2nd, 11:30. There will be Finance Committee prior at 11 o'clock. See you then.